I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chair Carmela Oflando.
Here.
Vice Chair Phil Lantry is coming, but will be a little late. Russell Alexander, same, will be a little late. Member Nanette Douglas.
Here.
Member Dawn Grisby.
Present.
Stacy Snyder.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum. Ms. Snyder is currently a voting member, and but we do have a quorum.
Okay. If everybody's looked at last meeting's minutes, can I have a motion?
Move to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We'll be calling the first order of business, resolution number 2025-001R.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Stephanie Streeter. I'm the Associate Planner for Community Development. Tonight, I'm presenting CNU 24-00004 for 1215 Old Hickory Tree Road, Christ-Centered Academics Conditional Use. The existing zoning is a single-family dwelling R1B. Their future land use is low-density residential. The applicant is proposing a private school in the R1B zoning, which triggers the conditional use. Their proposed operation times are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and their proposed student capacity is 14 students, ranging from 1st to 12th grade. For a little extra background, last year you all did recommend approval for a school that went at this location. They never completed their business tax receipt process. That school did not get established here. So this is a brand new school who must go through that conditional use process. These are image depictions of the zoning map and the future land use map. This is their concept plan, and with the traffic pattern where they'll go turn into the actual property from Old Hickory Tree Road. That highlighted portion down there, there's 3 modules. The highlighted module is where the school will reside out of, and then it's just drop off and pick up only, so then they go through the loop and turn off back onto Old Hickory Tree Road. Staff is recommending approval of Resolution 2025-001R with the following conditions. 1, for as long as the use permitted hereunder continues, in the event that stacking or standing of vehicles encroaches into the public right-of-way or otherwise interferes with the flow of vehicular traffic as determined by the city, the resolution may be brought back before the City Council for review and consideration of additional conditions to address traffic issues or possible revocation of the rights granted hereunder in perpetuity. 2, changes to the site will require approval of a site development plan or any additional approvals required by the Land Development Code. And 3, this approval is for this school, Christ-Centered Academics only. Upon the school leaving the subject property, the conditional use shall expire. And we are requesting Planning Commission recommend approval of the resolution 2025-001R with conditions as stated by staff. Staff and the applicant are available for any questions.
Any questions for staff?
No.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. At this moment, we'll close it and now open for public comments. I have James Moore.
Hello, Commissioners. I speak to you as a parent of a former.
Sir, I'm sorry, if you could just say your name and your address.
Sure. James Moore, 3855 San Isidro Circle, St. Cloud, Florida. So I speak to you first as a member. Actually, I speak to you first as the general manager of the Wawa 5123, located directly across the street from this proposed school. I am concerned about the road conditions. There is at the church, they do giveaways every day, causing backups into the road. I do have concerns that additional traffic in and out of school will create issues. Yeah, here. But I'm speaking to you more so as a parent of a former Christ-Centered Academy student, Draven Moore, who is a student under Miss Annette Moore, who's one of the applicants. And I wanted to make you aware that twice before Christ Center academies had been shut down for by the fire marshal for inappropriate conditions inside the building. While my child was a student there, the windows were nailed shut. So if there was a fire inside the house, there was no way for them to get out. Fire inspector did shut her down for that. She was also shut down for having the school listed as a private tutor center and operating as a school, not a tutoring center. And then just business practices that are not becoming of a St. Cloud citizen. My student gets scholarships to go to school. She moved him from school 1 week after the second semester started, but still took the entire tuition for the session, refusing to give us a refund or give us the funding that we needed to help homeschool our children. So I'd ask you to please look at the records, see that she hasn't been shut down twice before for unsafe conditions, that she's gone under the guise of being a school, but her licensing has it as a tutoring center. And I'd like to take in consideration. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you so much. Any other public comments? At this time, I will close public comments and with the, what? Did you fill out a form, ma'am?
She's the applicant.
You're the applicant, you come up, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Please just state your name and your address, please.
My name's Annette Moore. I'm the owner / principal of the Christ-Centered Academics.
And your address is, your
You need
address?
my address?
Yes, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. 6375 Carroll Circle, St. Cloud, Florida, 34771.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's my residence.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Some of what Mr. Moore just said was not the truth, but I'm not going to argue. Regarding traffic, with what Mr. Moore says about constant traffic, at 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock, there's no traffic. We have a grand total of 10 cars between staff and parents when they come in and go out. There's never any traffic issues. The traffic issues that Mr. Moore is talking about is unfortunate, but it's related to the church's food pantry, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're not in school on Friday, so it's not our traffic. And the timing of the traffic is like between 10 and 12. And on a Friday, it's between 12 and 4, I believe. But like I say, we're not in school in those times. Well, we're in school, but we don't have our school traffic coming in and out at that time. And there is one lane open should there ever be an emergency. The church does deal with that, but we've never had an emergency so far in the school. I've got parents here who would back that up if there was a need. We have no intention of going above 14. We currently have 13 students. It's a family school. It's grades 1 through 12. And all the children work together. It's like the old-fashioned one-room schoolhouse. I've been passed by health, fire, and my radon. All we're waiting for is your approval, which I greatly would appreciate. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. This was brought up before, right, Ms. Steph? I remember the
That was
meeting,
a
the
different
last.
School, I think she said.
It was a different
school.
school that received approvals. However, they didn't complete the business tax receipt process. They never actually established. So they had, this school has to come and get it, the conditional use. Again, you can add on conditions as well to address student capacity and things like that to acknowledge what Ms. Moore said.
I think the question you're saying is that we had talked about traffic on that road before when we talked about the other schools. So, yeah.
Correct. Which is why we have the encroachment condition added on. If we receive complaints, we can always bring it back before city council for any additional conditions that may help alleviate the traffic issues.
And the amount of students, is that put into the thing also already, or?
It is not an added condition. If you would like it to be, you can make that into your motion and we can add that into the recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, before the board or the commission takes action, the review of the conditions obviously could be reviewed and revisited. Just a couple of points for the commission, if you would allow me. As a reminder for those in attendance or viewing elsewhere, this is an advisory commission, so what's being sought this evening is a recommendation on an application for conditional use. There are 6 factors, factual matters that you need to consider that I'm sure they're outlined nicely in your report. Under the Land Development Code, each are given equal weight, and all 6 must be satisfactorily answered in order to approve or make a recommendation for approval. And you certainly have the discretion to include any appropriate safeguards or conditions that you think are appropriate. So you have some conditions recommended by staff. That doesn't limit you if you want to add other conditions, if that's part of your deliberation. But the 6 factors need to be considered and part of whatever motion, whether in favor or against.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
So we will be closing public comments amongst ourselves, and
Discussion.
discussion amongst yourselves. Do you have anything
I
to
would
say?
agree with the staff's recommendations, but also with the addition of the limit of 14.
Since it was
students.
brought up. Okay, so will I have a motion?
Well, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of resolution number CNU 24-00004, based on the 16 findings from the Land Development Code, as well as
On the 6. On the 6.
6 findings, sorry.
You got 10 more findings.
6 factual matters within the Land Development Code, along with the conditions as recommended by staff, with the addition of the limitation of 14 students.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
All ayes, Ms. Snyder?
Aye.
Okay, for it passes. Recommendation is 4-0 in favor with the 4 conditions, 3 in the presentation and the additional condition mentioned by
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Grigsby. Okay, passes 4-0.
Next ordinance is ordinance number 2024-82, ANX 24-00008.
Good evening, Ralph Keith, Associate Planner with Community Development. The case before you tonight is for the annexation of the project known as Tavares Santiago. This request meets both the statutory requirements and is consistent with our joint planning agreement with Osceola County. The existing future land use is low-density residential, and it has existing county zoning of AC agricultural. The subject parcel is generally located north of East 10th Street, east of Orange Avenue, south of East 5th Street, and west of Rosedale Avenue. Likewise, it is requested that the Planning Commission also recommends approval of ordinance number 2024-82 for the annexation of the project known as Tavares Santiago. At this time, staff is available for questions.
Any questions for staff? Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll open up to public comments. I have Mr. Mitchell Lee.
My name is Mitchell Brian Lee. I live at 701 Orange Avenue, which is the neighbor of this property. And what I would like to do is understand how this affects me. So, I'm the first address that starts the county. The city's one, I guess, would be to the right of me. And then it's me, I'm county, and now this gentleman is trying to be in the city. And I do believe that it's because he's just trying to build a house that the county won't let him do. Kind of like when I bought my property, I kind of wanted to have a little bit of property, didn't want to live in a neighborhood. And it kind of seems like everybody around there is trying to make it a neighborhood. I currently have chickens, that my grandkids and so forth take care of. I kind of like my space. So, now that I'll have city on both sides of me, I don't really like that. I mean, I don't have anything against the city. I've had a business here in Osceola County for almost 30 years now. I understand that it's not my property, but on the same hand, it does affect me. So, it's an acre and a third. I have one house on my acre and a third, and then the acre and a third. And now the guy that's built beside him has got a mobile home that's got two little low density homes in there. And they got like a abandoned house in the back. So kind of seems like we're trying to do something that the rest of the neighbors don't really care for. You know what I mean? People move there to have space and to be able to enjoy land. We have people that live across the street with me have goats and chickens, and people behind me has chickens. People behind them have chickens. The guy on the other road on Grape has cows. And now it seems like we're trying to be a neighborhood.
If I could, sir, you're welcome to give your comments up until the time listed on the clock there, but the commission is not here to answer any questions for you. If you do have questions about how you may be affected, you can speak with staff. You can certainly get independent.
So
counsel.
what I've done is on this piece of paper right here says if you have any questions, to call Ralph Keith.
Yeah.
I've called him every
Yeah.
week and not had one reply.
I understand. There may be someone else in the city staff that can assist you. The commission's here to take your comments, certainly, but they're not here to answer the questions this evening.
I got you.
Thank you, sir.
So we're done?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. So would I come back to the public meeting or do I just?
This is going to be back before the city council. I don't know exactly when. In January the 9th, I guess I'm hearing. January 9th, this is going to be brought before city council. You might have an opportunity to speak at that time as well. But in the interim, for part of that time, I'm sure that you can speak with, either get independent guidance or see if you can speak with somebody at the city that they can at least explain to you
Right.
what exactly is happening that you can then take away from for how you believe it impacts you.
All right, I appreciate that, but I have tried
I-
multiple times.
Now that, if I may, now that you are here and you've brought this to an attention, there's a lot of great staff in this room. I am sure somebody's going to talk with you.
I appreciate it, but I actually put out 5 voicemails and not one of them has been answered.
Well, coming here is a good idea. People like to see you face to face.
And I appreciate what all y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Other public comment?
Hi.
Bring
my
down the
name-
microphone. State your name and address, please.
Sure.
And after you're done, you're gonna have to fill out
Good
one of these.
evening. Oh, okay, sure. Good evening. My name is Iris Tavares. I live at 605 Orange Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida 34769. And it's our petition that we've requested to have permission to build next to us. So I was brought up on a farm, and I also enjoy the chickens, and this would be our forever home. But my daughter was diagnosed with MS after having 2 children. And as parents, we want to bring her closer to us. They come over often with the kids. And it's just, we want to have her nearby as her disease progresses. And we're getting older also, so we don't know who's going to take care of who. But this would not be a business. It would not be buying, selling. It would be our forever home that we would enjoy with our family. So that's, all I have to say. I just wanted to let you know.
Ma'am,
Thank you
just
for
one clarification.
listening.
You are on behalf of the applicant, correct? You're the applicant. for the
My
answer?
husband and I would be the applicants
Yes.
and our children.
Yes. Okay. Just for clarification.
Thank you so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you for
Do I
providing that
fill, you
information.
said I have to fill something
No,
out?
no, ma'am.
No,
You're
no.
the applicant.
you're
the
It's
applicant.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else would like to speak? If you do, after you speak, you fill out the form, please. State your name and address.
Hi, my name's Greg Anarelli. I actually live at 2300 Academy Circle West, Kissimmee 34744. But I'm here on behalf of my mother who lives out 500 East 5th Street, which is just blocks away from, a couple blocks away. I just think it's silly to cut up this part city, this part county, this part city. If you drive down Orange Avenue right now, we still got hurricane debris all down the streets. Why? Because I'm afraid no one knows this is city stuff, this is county stuff. It's just kind of silly to piecemeal this all together. Either make it all city, which I don't think anybody really wants, or just leave it as county. That's all. Okay? That's
Thank
all.
you.
Okay. Thank you. And what do I got to do? I got to do that.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. Any other comments? We'll be closing public comments. Any comments amongst yourselves?
Yeah, I don't know what that means either, and I'm curious now. What does it mean for properties that are sandwiched in between annexed properties?
Yeah, so they're enclaves. We did,
Or it could be.
they could be. Some of them may be
That is correct. So
on
when
the
you
boundary
have
of the
those
JPA.
properties in between, they become an enclave. And as a part of our joint planning agreement, we are supposed to bring those in because they meet the Florida state statutes.
So essentially, we'll
Eventually-
be seeing more annexations in the future of these enclaves.
Yeah.
But it's possible, it's not certain, but as they get created, yeah, you will be seeing them then,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, when you say we would like to, it is our job, it is the idea to bring them in, meaning that it is still going to be voluntary annexation for
Yes.
anybody that is in an enclave.
There are legal impacts, an enclave creates a need from an efficiency standpoint for properties that are subject to enclave status. It's likely that they're going to, at some point, be required to annex in. Cannot keep an enclave perpetually in existence due to the.
Right. As an example, if it was county garbage, the county would have to go to that one enclave within the city, which would be out of their way.
But those are,
That's just an example.
but again, I know it's tempting to contemplate these types of bigger issues, but the case before you is a voluntary annexation that the staff has confirmed meets the statutory requirements.
And is within the plan, correct? For areas that should be annexing, correct?
Yes.
Any other comments? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, entertain a motion if I could get any.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance number 2024-82 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
I have a first, we'll have a second.
I second the motion.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes.
Passes 5-0.
Next is ordinance number 2024-83, CPA 24-00014.
You may want to, Mr. Chairman, because I think these two items are related, you can read both of the cases in, and then they can be
Okay.
dealt with separately at the time of your action.
It'll be also ordinance number 2024-84, ZMA 24-0013.
Good evening. My name is Zhao Kai Liu. I'm the principal planner. I'm with Community Development. The item for C and D on tonight's agenda are the comprehensive plan amendment and zoning map amendment for the project known as Hopkins Parks improvements. The request meet the statutory requirement and it is located within the city limit. The existing future land use is low density residential and medium density residential. The existing zoning is A, agriculture, P, professional, R1A, single family dwelling, and R2, single and two family dwelling. The proposed future land use is park and open space. The request zoning designation is OR, open space and recreational. The request is compatible with the surrounding area and will have no adverse impact on city facilities. The map on the left is showing the existing future land use map, and the map on the right is showing the existing zoning map. On or before December 2024, staff recommends approval. Staff also recommends the Planning Commission to recommend approval for ordinance number 2024-83 and 2024-84 for the future land use and zoning map amendment for the project known as Hopkinton Parks Improvement. At this time, staff and the applicant are available for questions. CD is the applicant in this case.
Thank you.
Any questions for the city?
I don't have any questions. I'll just say I think this is a great thing. I mean, you don't see very often
Parks coming up.
areas that are zoned as residential being changed to park and open
It's
space.
refreshing.
It's usually the
And
opposite.
I believe that Hopkins Park, that area is in need of some more improvements. And so this is the first step in getting that. So I think this is a great thing.
Totally agree.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll open up for public comments. No public comments. Any other comments amongst yourselves? If not, I'll
Hope there's
entertain
a
a
good
motion.
rock climbing wall. That's what.
Entertain a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to,
Make sure to take them in the order, the separate items from
yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance number 2024-83 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Could I get a motion for ordinance number 2024-84?
All right, I'll also make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance number 2024-84 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes. Next on the agenda, ordinance number 2024-86, CDA 24-00011.
Good evening, Planning Commission. Tisha Manning, Zoning Manager for Community Development. The case before you tonight is for easement in the plat process to change the process as it is currently stated in our Land Development Code now. This is case project CDA 24-00011, and it is for ordinance 2024-86. So currently right now, just to give you a little bit of background about this project, preliminary subdivision plans, subdivision construction plans, and final plats is what this is going to be affecting. Preliminary subdivision plans and final plats right now have to go to City Council for approval. Of course, with that, it just kind of gives an extra step for applicants to have to go through to get their projects approved. With this process, in the preliminary subdivision plan, just so I can kind of break it down for you, it's basically giving you the lot layouts. It also gives, any special conditions that the applicant has to meet for the development. It ensures, compatibility, and any major processes get looked at. The preliminary subdivision plan is more like a bubble plan. It doesn't talk about any construction or engineering. So it's just kind of the concept of what the applicant is putting before us for the preliminary subdivision plan. And then the final plat, of course, after they've gone through their preliminary subdivision plan, they've given us a subdivision construction plan, which is their actual civil engineers. Then they have to actually do the final plats, and that gets recorded with the clerk of court. So with the final plat and the preliminary subdivision plan having to be approved by City Council, it does sometimes cause delays because we have to wait for it to get to meetings. We have to wait for, if a council meeting is there. And so it just kind of puts delays on the applicants and their projects and what they're trying to do in their development. We're also requesting that construction and utility easements, the process for that is also changed. And we do also, again, receive approval for City Council for any of these type of abandonments. Whenever these things come to us, the applicant is responsible for providing us all of the letters from all of the different utility companies saying that they are going to release those lines or that space for them. So that is already reviewed by staff before we even take it to council. So in allowing this
ordinance to be approved, what we're requesting is that we take away those approvals from city council for the final plats, for the preliminary subdivision plans, and for the abandonments of the construction and utility easements. This will help us help the developers and the applicants move their projects along and get to actual construction. This is necessity. This is, a great necessity, of course, when it comes to commercial projects, and we're trying to get them to actual, vertical building. So this is why we're trying to get some changes in this process. And so this ordinance will allow the city manager or their designee to approve those easements as well as the preliminary subdivision plan and the final plating. Staff does recommend approval of ordinance 2024-86, and likewise, we ask the same of Planning Commission. And the city is bringing this forward, so we are the applicant, and I am available if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I do have a question. You knew I would. I think I've asked this question before because this came up in a previous meeting, but substantial compliance, what does that mean exactly? I believe it means that the final plat has to be similar in the number of units and that sort of thing. But I just want to know, like, at what point is it not substantial, or is it substantial, like the difference?
So substantially, like if they start, so if a plat comes in and it has to change, they maybe lose one lot because they need to, the road didn't necessarily fit the way it was supposed to at final engineering. Or some things we see also is maybe they need to change some of their buffer tracks, those types of things. Nothing that is going to actually affect the development itself and how it was actually intended to be developed. So if they come in and they want to totally rearrange how it's going to be, that's not substantial compliance. So then we would have to take it back to the beginning.
So if they, for example, if they removed one of the entrances or something like that, that would not be substantially compliant.
That is not substantial compliance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Any other questions? If I have no questions, I'll open for public comment. No public comments. Any other comments amongst yourselves? And if not, can I get a motion?
Oh, come on. Which one am I doing?
This one's not really on our
I was going to say.
our cheat sheet.
I don't know how, if I don't have a cheat sheet, I don't know what to say.
Different, so
Is that why nobody's saying anything?
I think you just.
All
need
right, I'd
recommend
like
approval
to
of the ordinance.
recommend approval of ordinance number 2024-86, simply because they presented it so well. And it will streamline government, which is amazing in any case to streamline.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes.
I just want to mention that I was quiet because I wanted the entertainment of.
Thank you.
would
I'm
happen?
always here for your entertainment pleasure.
When's the next meeting, Madam Secretary?
January 21st.
January 21st. If everything's good, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Well, I just have one more question. Where's the Christmas party?
I think they already had it.
Clearly.
Everybody looks all fancy.
With a lot of
so,
bling, too.
yeah, bling, bling. Move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.